is what today? What is
23rd, Joe's birthday.
Joe's birthday today. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're down here visiting
He's another stubborn one.
yeah. we're almost to a big birthday here for this lady on camera. And what birthday is that going to be, Jenna?
Once in a lifetime, 100.
All right. Very good. So she's looking great, that's for sure. And I just wrote down a couple things I was going to ask you, and you can just look right at me or look at the camera and see if you can come up with any of these. They're just your opinions more than anything else. You played pinochle for quite a few years. You still do. And you played with Bert, Cease, and Walt. And of the four of you, who was the best pinochle player? Go ahead.
I don't know. I think maybe me.
I think so too. Dave, you agree?
I totally agree.
All right. And we don't want to pick on her, but who was the worst pinochle player?
Cecil.
We don't want to pick on her, but
Oh,
I think that was a loaded question.
Oh, all right. Well, Cease, rest in peace, but you've been declared the worst pinochle player. And then moving over to the Osterberg brothers, you know, Kurt, Walt, Cliff, and Bert, they were all pretty good singers, but in your opinion, who had the best voice?
Walter.
I had a feeling she might say that. He did have a good voice, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And
I used to love to stand next to him in church and listen to him.
he was very good, yeah.
You'd know you'd still be on key.
And Bert was the best musician. He played the violin.
Oh, that right, And Cliff was pretty good singer too, if I remember. Cliff?
Cliff was okay, but he was very erratic.
Okay. Okay. And Kurt had kind of a tenor voice, but he wasn't nearly as mellow as Walt.
He wasn't as good as Walt.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what else I got here, Dave. Let's switch to horses.
Okay.
All right. What was the biggest exacta that you ever hit at the racetrack?
Well, at Los Alamitas, one time I had an exacta and I hit $157.
Does that sound like that's exaggerated at all, Dave?
No, I have no doubts that she did that.
$157 exacta.
Walt jumped two feet in the air.
Okay.
He was next to me.
Uh-huh.
Well, he kind of suggested I had the second horse picked.
Okay.
And he kind of suggested the first one.
Okay. Wow. Amazing. You did pretty darn well over the years at races. I would even say you were a prophet.
I think I had a profit.
Yeah. What was your secret, or what was your approach?
I never played favorites.
Oh, okay. That was important. A lot of people have
I'll
gone...
have to remember that.
Yeah, don't play favorites, Jenna.
I play jockeys.
Oh, she plays jockeys and colors. Yeah, right.
Do you make money?
I finally gave up.
I think colors should work pretty good.
Yeah, anything.
It all works, no matter what.
And Walt, what was his method of...
He'd play 10 to show on a favorite and it would run out.
Yeah, I remember, and I remember going to the last race several times with you guys, and he would be in those trash cans looking for an old program or a racing form.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he always came up with something, but he was a lot of fun, and everybody had a good time. Okay, let's switch to an old friend of ours, Pop Osterberg. Now, you have a lot of birthday cards around the room here, but when Pop Osterberg, Farfar, used to get birthday cards, what was his comment?
You can't eat them.
I gotta hold this steady. I start laughing and I can't hold this camera steady. You like that comment, Jenna?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he enjoyed getting cards, but he didn't really need them or something like that. Yeah.
Well, he needed edible cards, is what he needed.
Oh, that would have
Could
worked.
have made them out of lettuce or rice paper or something.
Yeah.
That would have worked out
That
for
one
him.
fooled him.
Okay, now, I only got about a couple left, and that's, oh yeah. You have spent many hours taking care of all of us when we were growing up. Your kids, of course.
Yes.
But other kids seem to wind up in your backyard to be babysat.
Yes.
And in particular, there was one child that you used to take care of a lot, and when you used to give him a bath, where did you give him a bath, and what was his name? You remember a little boy that you used to take care of, and you'd give him a bath?
Jonathan, you mean?
Jonathan, of course. I'm thinking of one of Cliff's kids. That you.
Oh, Chris David.
All right. And where did you give him his bath? If I
don't remember.
Okay, I thought that was going to be a loaded question because you told me once that you used to give him a bath in the kitchen sink or something.
Oh, I remember
yes.
that.
Yes, and yeah, I think that was Chris David.
Okay.
And they dumped him on me unexpectedly. And I had to call my neighbor Maxine to help.
Oh, wow. But you took care of all of us at one point in time.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
But mostly Cliff's kids, you probably babysat for Michelle and Steve too at some point?
I can't remember them.
Okay.
I don't think
Not
we
so
took
much.
care of Stevie as much. I know Michelle was over.
Okay.
When Chris David was little, he was in a stroller one time and I was pushing him around a store. And I was about 16 and someone came up to me and told me what a beautiful son I had. And I was like, oh, Lordy.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's think about their ages now, Dave.
He was a year old.
So he's 16
that
years
would have
shy
been-
of you, or 15
That
years
would
shy?
have been in 1960.
Okay.
And I was 16 or so at the time.
So we're saying Chris David is
Chris
about
was-
54 now?
He was born, I think, he was born in January of, I think, of 59.
Okay. Yeah.
So I remember Cliff telling Joyce she had to hold off a year because he wanted that first baby of the year money.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Jenna, you think of anything else? I got one other question here on politics. We're sitting in a room full of Democrats here, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
We
Yep.
we got a strong Democrat here. We got a converted Democrat over here. She used to be a Republican, but she's come to her senses now.
I go back and forth. It depends on who's on the ballot and who I want to vote against.
All right. Well, the year is 2013, and President Obama, do you think he's doing okay?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
He was voted in.
Yeah, that's right. Got to go with the man that's voted in.
He was reelected, so he can't be doing everything wrong.
And then down the line, in another few years, there's a question mark whether we're going to have the first woman president. And that would be Hillary Clinton, possibly.
Yes.
Do you think the country is ready for a woman president?
Yes, I do.
All right. I was hoping that would be the answer. So, well, Dave, any other political thoughts?
Here, I thought you were talking about Chelsea.
Well, she'll be behind Hillary, you see.
If
So,
Hillary's not too old,
All right.
that's my concern.
All right. Well, you've been a brave soul taking all these questions, and we'll hope this camera's doing its job. And we'll wish you a happy birthday a little in advance.
Thank you.
You're looking great, Chris. So wave to the camera. Okay, that's good. All right, we've been talking about horses here in Hollywood Parks, getting ready to close. And Chris, there was one incident one time when you were, I think you took the bus out there with Walt, and somehow there was something going on where you're almost late getting to your bus, or to your car maybe, and Walt had to do something to get you there on time to get you back to where you were going to take the bus. What did he do?
Well, my horse won, I think,
Okay.
and he had to run up to the window. Hollywood Park was closing,
Okay.
and run back. But we didn't take the bus.
Okay.
We had our car.
Okay. But there
But
was.
he made it.
Oh, well, there was one time when Walt had to do something with you to get you to the car in time, or to the.
The streetcar, remember when Dad picked,
I don't remember
What?
that.
Okay.
Mom, when Dad picked you up and carried you?
Oh, that was at Santa Anita.
Oh, at Santa Anita. Well, tell me that story. How did that go?
Well, I sprained my ankle
Oh.
and I couldn't walk. That was after we were first married. And I was a lightweight, 120, and he was probably 130. And the next thing I knew, I was over his shoulder and running for the bus.
Oh no.
So he left me on Vermont Avenue and ran and got the car. You know, a few blocks, a couple blocks away, and picked me up.
Oh wow. How far did he carry you over his shoulder?
Well, he carried me over his shoulder to run for the bus,
Uh-huh.
and somebody probably thought, there's a drunk.
Wow.
That's a good one.
And then there was another incident where I goofed and got my golf club up on a tree.
Yes.
What was that all about?
Yeah, you got a ball stuck in the tree,
Uh-huh.
and balls cost money, you know, and so you threw the club up to try and shake it loose.
Uh-huh.
And we never did get get the golf, and we got locked in.
You guys came over to rescue me, I remember, because you...
You called Walt
Uh-huh.
it was on Prairie Avenue, and I think you called Walt, and so you drove the car up, and that was in the days when we had to wear dresses, and so I stepped over the fence onto the hood of the car and got out.
Wow.
But you all jumped the fence, I think,
Okay.
or climbed the fence, whatever.
I don't think we ever did get we might have got the club out of there, but not the ball.
You didn't get the
Oh, didn't get the club either?
Club is still up there on that tree.
The club's still up there.
Oh, no.
How old were you then, Jay?
I don't know. I was probably
18, 20?
maybe just out of high school or in...
Yeah,
is-
I
You were
kind of
probably
remember
in high
that.
school.
Yeah.
You weren't too old.
Yeah. You gave me a nickname when I was a little kid. Do you remember what you used to call me? J-Bum.
Oh, J-Bum, yes. Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know exactly where that came from, but that was a loving term, I'm sure. I didn't turn out to be a bum though, so that's okay.
No, you turned out pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Well, you married well. Right, Jenna? You take good care of him.
Yeah, that's the secret right there.
That's, Jay and I learned this.
Sometimes it's the other way.
What did we learn, Dave?
Marry the right gal.
Oh yeah.
I got Judy and you got Jenna.
And Walt got this young lady right here.
Yeah,
So
Dad did good too.
everybody had the right plan. All right, we'll sign off again. Adios.